Good day. Today I want to talk about intellectual dishonesty, and that is intellectual dishonesty on the part of professing Christians. All right. So what we hear very often people say is God is love, and because God is love, He permits all these things. Recently, I heard an Anglican priest um, affirm the need for people of same sex to get married. All right, yeah, because that's a compassionate thing to do, because God is love, right? Of course, that's from 1 John 4:16. But how do you know that God is love, right? And then the answer is, well, I know God is love because the Bible says God is love, 1 John 4:16, right? Okay, but if you believe that part of the Bible, then you also have to believe other parts of the Bible that says God has certain expectations of those who profess to love Him. All right? So you cannot say that I believe God is love because the Bible says so, and I don't believe that the other things that the Bible say are true and relevant and important. All right? And that's the intellectual dishonesty. All right. So if we look, for instance, at Matthew 22, God is very clear about that. This is an amazing story told by Jesus, basically saying that the king, and he's using a parable, so he's using himself, he's talking about God, but he's using a parable, a story of a king, and he says, the king sent out his servants to invite people, to call them to his wedding ceremony, and many people declined to accept the invite. They didn't RSVP. In fact, they didn't arrive. Some RSVP but didn't arrive for the wedding ceremony. And this made the God of love angry. And the God of love said, okay, if that's the case, then go and invite other people. But interestingly, who does he invite? Does he invite all the good people and they make it into the wedding ceremony? The answer is no. Matthew 22 from verse 9 is an extremely interesting part because it reads as follows. And the king says, therefore go into the highways, as many as you find, invite to the wedding. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all whom they found, both bad and good. And the wedding hall was filled with guests. The bad made it into the wedding hall by virtue of those that were originally invited not accepting the invite. Do you get that? All right? The bad. And in my definition, those are the sinners who didn't initially care, but they accepted the invite. All right? And they came into the wedding hall. Both the bad and the good. All right, those who knew him and those who did not know him into the wedding hall. Okay, so and that is the God of love. And so when we hear that God is love and therefore He permits all things, that is self-deception, because you cannot believe that the Bible is true in that it says God is love, and then at the same time say that the Bible is not true, because God is also a judge. God is also a king that has certain expectations of his servants. That is being intellectually dishonest. How many Christians are there that are intellectually dishonest? Very many, it seems, amongst whom is this Anglican priest and all who support what she's doing, of which there are many, I can assure you. Seen many of them. All right. So I'm not condemning the priest, but what I am saying is, please wake up. You are intellectually dishonest. All right. And what I'm saying is, please tell me when I am being intellectually dishonest, because it is in my best interest to know it. Am I fooling myself? If I am, please tell me.